Live stream has commenced.
Tina, do we know if Warren has accepted this appointment for today?
Yes, he is. He has, and he will be joining.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Shall we wait for Warren?
You do have quorum if you'd like to start, Lawrence, or if you wanted to wait a couple of minutes, it's your choice.
Yeah. Okay, I'll wait for a minute and then we'll start. Ah, there he is. Welcome, Warren.
Thank you. I was in another room waiting for you guys.
Yeah, you know that the old one probably you're not deleted, the old invite.
Yeah.
That could be the reason.
That's our New Year resolution, Warren. We need to fix that for you.
Sorry about this. I do this too often,
Yeah.
but I'm here.
Okay, now that we have a quorum, let us begin the meeting. Good afternoon, and welcome to this virtual meeting of the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee of the Toronto Seniors Housing Corporation, which is being live streamed. In addition to the participating board members and the leadership team, I am pleased to welcome our virtual audience and thank you for joining us. I want to thank Grant, Vince, and their teams for the preparation of materials brought forward for today's meeting. Today, in the public session, we will be reviewing the financial results for the 10 months ending 31st October and audit engagement and audit timelines. In the closed session, we'll be reviewing the 2024 draft budget, Q3 reconciliation, and changes to some procurement orders. Let us begin with the Land and African Ancestral Acknowledgement. As a committee of a City of Toronto Corporation, we honor the land we are on, which has been the site of human activity since time immemorial. It is the traditional territories of Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River First Nations. Ontario is covered by 46 treaties and other agreements and is home to many Indigenous nations from across Turtle Island, including the Inuit and the Métis. The committee also acknowledges that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaties signed with multiple Mississaugas and the Chippewa bands. These treaties and other agreements, including the One Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, are agreements to peaceably share and care for the land and its resources. Other Indigenous nations, Europeans, and newcomers were invited into this covenant in the spirit of respect, peace, and friendship. We are mindful of broken covenants, and we strive to make this right with the land and with each other. We are all treaty people. Many of us have come here as settlers, immigrants, and newcomers in this generation or generations past. We would also like to acknowledge those who came here forcibly, particularly as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. Therefore, we honor and pay tribute to the ancestors of African origin and descent. Next, we will be moving to the item number 3, That's the approval of the public meeting agenda. Are there any amendments to the public agenda? Okay, may I now have a motion for approval of the public agenda? I need a mover and a seconder.
So move, Mr. Chair.
A seconder by Brenda. All in favor? Carried. Next item is declaration of conflict of interest, if any. Does any member have any conflict? Hearing none, let us move to the next item. That's the agenda item 5. Approval of the AFRC public minutes of meeting held on September 28th. Need a mover and a seconder.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Seconded by Brenda. All in favor? Carried. Next, item number 6 is the approval of the minutes of the closed meeting held on September 28th. Again, I need a mover and a seconder.
So move, Mr. Chair.
I need a seconder. Brenda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, then item number 7. This is the financial results for the 10 months ended October 31st. You may have noticed the improved income statement. It shows the past 10 months results, also provides an indication of the likely result at the year end. Thank you, Vince, for the updated version. Vince, carry on.
Thank you. And through the chair, good afternoon, everyone. Today, I will present to you the financial statement for Toronto Seniors Housing Corporation for the first 10 months of this year, ending on October 31st, 2023. In front of you, you will see a revised statement of operations. And in the statement of operations, you will see expenses relating to $35,238,000, along with revenue of $29,423,000 to show a deficit of $5.814 million for the first 10 months of the year. In terms of the budget for the first 10 months, the revenue is showing $26 million on expenses of $35 million for a difference of $9.7 million. So there's a favorable of about $3.8 million, and mainly the 3.8.
Excuse me, Vince.
Sorry.
Are you showing the budget? I don't see it on my screen. Is it just me?
It's the income statement or statement of operations, Brenda. It's what's the page number?
I
It's
think
attached
that's-
number 1, and it's on page number. I do apologize for that.
Oh, I think.
Probably 15, page 15. Probably.
Let's see.
Will it
Oh,
be
I see.
possible to show it on the screen?
Sure, I can show that on the screen. So it's on page number 15, correct? 15 out of 19.
Okay, so that's
So-
item number 12 then.
It's item number 7.
Item number
sorry.
7, Brenda.
I think I have the revised,
Oh,
number
that's
12 would
the,
the closed, I have
closed
the
session.
closed agenda. Yes, sorry.
that's for the closed one. Yeah,
Okay, so I don't have the.
it was sent earlier. Okay.
Yes, I know. I did.
Yeah, I think if it's possible, we will.
I can't
display
find it.
Okay,
If you
no,
could
we'll-
display it, I'd appreciate
Sure,
it.
Yeah,
no
okay.
problem. I can display that.
So,
And so hopefully you can see the financial statement on my screen here. As mentioned earlier, for the first 10
Yeah.
months, there is a favorability of $3.886 million. The majority of that is in the City of Toronto grant of $3.118 million, and along with $663,000 savings in terms of expenses to give up $3.8 million. For the full year amount, we anticipate to come in at about $8.1 million in terms of deficit on a budget of $11.712 million, or a favorability of $3.5 million. And again, the majority of that is on the City of Toronto grant that was not budgeted in the original conversation. And we have gone through this reconciliation process with the AFRC chair. This number here still reconciles back to the $8.531 million as approved by budget. And so right now we are expected to come in slightly better than overall result, mainly due to the $3.1 million City of Toronto grant that we received in 2022 that got carried over into 2023. If I may maybe move on to the next statement, which is the statement of financial positions. And the financial position, statement of financial position on item number 2 shows us on the balance sheet accounts. We have about $1 million, $1.035 million in terms of cash, some small amount of receivable, and a small amount on the receivable from TCHC, due from TCHC as well. And we will still continue to have that long-term due from TCHC arising from the post-retirement obligation that was transferred over at the end of last year of $4.180 million. Below that item, to give you a total assets of $5.436 million. And then below that, in terms of accounts payable included in this case here, current liabilities of about accounts payable and current liabilities of $2.543 million, amount due to TCHC at $1.909, and then due to the City of Toronto, $69,000. We've got some deferred revenue in there as well, $1.790 million, along with the employee benefits that we've included in our liability account. And then, of course, we have got a bit of what is considered to be a deficit in this case here of $5.651 million to give a net balance of $5,436,363. That's it for the item number 7. If you have any questions related to that, I can answer questions.
Vince, yeah. Farid?
Yeah, thanks, Vincent, and thanks for the improved statement as well. I think I asked this question the last time, but I'm going to ask it again because I can't remember what the response was. I noted that you're showing an employee benefit deficit in the current account. Was there any recognition when the employees were moved from TCHC to TSHC for TCHC to share any of that contingent liability?
Yes, and so if you look at on the statement of financial position, there is a $4.18 million that is included in there, what we consider to be a long-term due from TCHC. Okay. So as an offsetting entry, there is that entry that we booked that TCHC owes us that portion. Now, we classify as a long-term because we have not been able to get the money either from TCHC or from the city, because some of the existing complement of staff were part of the original, I guess, Toronto community housing that was part of, like, I think, predecessor to the Toronto community housing. So, okay. And so that's, yeah.
So we keep going back to the to who has the responsibility to fund that. And the second question has to do with the savings in salary and wages. I suspect that's because of the deferred positions that we did not hire, and perhaps the delay in bringing staff on board as well. But I don't think. Well, I guess I should perhaps phrase my question in a different way. I'm assuming that savings will not necessarily accrue in the same amount in 2023 and beyond.
To the chair, that is correct. This is a one-time gain in 2023. Anything beyond that will not incur. Again, the majority of the savings actually came from the City of Toronto grant. However, from a savings perspective, there is a one-time $200,000 that we received earlier this year when the corporation became a determined municipality, and we were able to retroactively go back and make some adjustments on there. So there's about 200,000 pickup in that regard there. So to that point there, this is a one-time thing. We anticipate to have in total for the year about between $400,000 to $600,000 in terms of savings in the expenses. The majority of the expenses in this case here are really on relating to the training and development that we've seen so far right now, communication services, but also some component on the tenant translation as well. But we are anticipate that we will spend a bit more of those money closer towards the end of the year. However, at
Right.
this point, there is some savings in this group that we anticipate that will be realized only for this 2023 fiscal year.
Brenda?
That city grant that you mentioned, the 1 point, sorry, I don't have it in front of me. Was that mid-year we got that? Was it, what time of the year?
Through the chair, that's correct. This is the amount that we received back in middle of 2022. If you recall, we received
Yeah.
$7.3 million approximately
Yeah,
for the entire year. One tranche of it was in the early part of 2022, and then we received another tranche, I believe was in the beginning of June of last year. And so we've kept that money, and by the end of the year, that money was not used up, and therefore we
Okay.
were able to use it to apply it as a one-time sort of grant in the 2023, and thus we realized that in this, and we can call it a reserve, but that's how we sort of booked it for 2023, and then that's considered to be a pickup for us.
And that's considered one time. So it's not a grant we can count on going forward in the next year. It was a one-time situation.
Correct. And through the
Okay.
chair, we have exhausted all of that as of September.
Okay.
There's no remaining money left in the deferred revenue from the City of Toronto.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Vince? Warren, do you have any questions?
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Vince, I have one question for you. What goes under, what is grouped under other miscellaneous costs?
Yes, I saw it. Thank you.
So other miscellaneous costs considered a number of areas. So we've got costs relating to, just give you some examples of what those costs are. So we've got costs relating to tenant translation, costs relating to other administrative costs relating to board expenses, for example, would be included in that there. But along as well, they've got costs relating to the communication services, and we've got costs relating to sundry amount, which in this case are the pickup that we have included in there. So it is a significant amount, and I can provide you with a list of all of that makeup of that in the other costs for more detailed information relating to that grouping.
Okay,
Great.
thank you.
That'd be good. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's where we have done the substantial saving, around 1.1 million.
Correct. For sure.
Yeah. If there are no further questions to Vince, let us move to item number 8. That's the audit engagement and audit timeline. Vince, go ahead.
Great. Thank you. And through the chair, we have continue to work with KPMG, our City of Toronto auditor. They're on essentially the fourth year now out of the total 5-year agreement. So therefore, that fifth year will be ending in 2024, excuse. And right now we have contacted them to continue with the service. The fee they have proposed to us is $17,500. Last year we were at $15,000, so slight increase overall, and that increase is to account for inflationary, but also just for a bit more complexity now that we have the entire year of operation with TSHC, and they're also taking on additional work, including doing the preliminary audit work as well, which sort of has started starting in December, and so therefore there's additional work. In terms of the expected timeline of when the audit will happen, the audit is expected to occur on February 26th of 2024, and it will take about 1.5 to 2 weeks to complete. And they will provide a report by March the 15th of 2024. That will also coincide closely to also the City of Toronto approval as well in April. So the timeline fits well, and we will present that to the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee in late March in that meeting in terms of the result as well. So that is that as it relates to item number 8.
Yeah, Warren, do
Mr.
you
Chair,
have?
a small question if you allow me.
Yeah.
Vince, do you anticipate that the same team as last year from KPMG will be involved in the audit, particularly the partner in charge?
Yes, through the chair. Yes, right now we've contacted, and the partner will be working on this along with the manager. From my call with the manager, there might be 1 or 2 individuals that came back from last year as part of this audit.
Right.
They will be also doing the TCHC audit as well. But as far in terms of answering your question, yes, both the partner and the audit manager will be on board for this 2023 fiscal year's audit.
Good. I think it's important to have the continuity.
Yeah.
And just while I have the floor, Mr. Chair, just to comment that the small increase of 7 to 2,000, whatever it is, to 17,000, I'm very comfortable with that.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no further questions, it's time for us to move into closed session. As I had said earlier, we will be discussing the 2024 draft budget, Q3 reconciliation, and some changes to the procurement order. Yeah. So I need a motion to move into closed session.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and seconded by Brenda. All in favor? Yeah, carried. Yeah.